Candace, and I'm back with another video. So today I just wanted to share a video about how God blessed me with an apartment, okay? So before I get into this video, let me just say, if you have not watched my video about how God moved me to Dallas, Texas, go back and watch that video and then come back and watch this video because it's all gonna come together, okay? So with that being said, let's just get into the video. All right, so God basically moved me from Alabama and he moved me to Dallas, Texas, and I was living in an Airbnb for about 5 months, okay? And so I moved to Dallas, Texas in March, and I want to say in June, God started telling me that I was going to move. And I'm like, God, how? How am I going to move? With what money? Okay? So keep in mind, I had a job at the time, but it wasn't enough money to go out and get my own apartment. Because keep in mind, in Dallas, Texas, you know, a one bedroom is like, what, $1,400, you know, or $1,200. I don't know, but it's just a lot for me, okay? So with that being said, I'm like, God, how am I going to move? How? Like, you have me in an Airbnb where I can afford it. Keep in mind, I'm not just staying in a grand Airbnb. I'm staying in a, well, I was staying in a, you know, a nice Airbnb, but the thing was, I was staying in a shared room, right? I was staying in a shared room where people call it a hostel. And so basically, you know, there's other people living there. So I was uncomfortable. Keep in mind, you know, when I was back in Alabama, I had my own house. So God definitely made me uncomfortable, but he showed me, or he told me that I would be uncomfortable only for a little while. Like, basically, I had to humble myself and just know and trust that God was going to do what he said he was going to do. So also keep in mind that I was prophesied to that I would go from having an Airbnb to my own apartment. So with all of that being said, around June, okay, keep in mind, keep all these dates in mind, God moved me to Dallas, Texas in March. In June, he starts to tell me that I'm going to move. And so how he basically told me this was the people that I was already watching on YouTube, they all started talking about moving. Like, literally, like, I'm not looking for it, okay? I'm not looking for this. The people that I already watched on YouTube, they all started talking about the same thing. And I was like, God, are you telling me to move? And I was like, nah, like, how, you know? So then on top of that, I just kept seeing planes, like just seeing airplanes everywhere. And I just felt like this huge burden that, you know, I'm moving. And I'm like, God, you just moved me to Dallas, Texas. I'm living in an Airbnb. How are you going to move me, right? So then I started to, you know, ask God. I was like, okay, God, if this is really you, I need you to confirm to me. Okay. And so with that being said, you guys know, I'm not going to do anything unless I have confirmation. Okay. Now, I have done some things before without confirmation, but the majority of the time I have to have confirmation. Okay. So with that being said, I asked God, I was like, God, if you want me to move, keep in mind, I don't know where he wants me to move to, but I just said, if you want me to move, show me another airplane. I kid you not, within maybe 2 minutes after saying that prayer, he showed me an airplane, and it flew above me, y'all, and I got a video footage of that. Hold on. So as you can see, that was God clearly showing me that he wanted me to move. So I was like, all right, God, I'm moving. Now where? Like, I need you to show me where. So with that being said, around this time, I'm unemployed because I had just quit this job that I had. So I'm unemployed, and I ended up getting this other job. And I started working there, and I was only there for about a week. And God showed me, he was like, you know, Paris, this was not for me. You just got this job because you wanted something really quick, but you weren't really trying to wait on me. So basically, I had to quit that job, and I was only there for a week. And so what I actually did was I prayed and I was like, God, this time I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to wait till you confirm what you want me to do. And so I asked God to give me a dream. And so within 2 weeks, he gave me a dream. He showed me the location of where I'm going to be. And then he also gave me the description of what I would be doing. So with that being said, maybe a day after I had that dream, maybe a day or two after I had that dream, I got an email from someone, or from my employer that I work with right now. I got an email from them saying that they felt like I would be a great fit for a particular position. And so with that being said, I looked at the job description. I said, this job description matched the same job description that God gave me in my dream. Not only that, it was in the same location God told me in my dream. And I was like, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. So I was like, okay, God, this has to be you. So fast forward, I end up getting the job, okay? So I get the job in July. So even though I got the job in July, I'm still living in the Airbnb, okay? And so before I tell you guys about how, God started, showing me where I'm going to be at, let me just show you guys real quick let me show you real quick the Airbnb that I was staying in, okay? This is not bashing the Airbnb. I'm just showing you where I was staying at so that you can see how God, started me out here, and then he, blessed me with the apartment. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys this real quick. So as you can see, I was in a shared room, like this little bitty room, okay? I was living in a big house, but I was sharing this small room with four other women. And so when I tell you guys, like, this was definitely different for me, okay? I was out of my comfort zone. But anyways, it was a blessing because I ended up meeting a lot of new people. One person ended up getting saved while I was there, so I was happy about that. So God started sharing with me that, I'm moving, and basically by the time I get this job, maybe the second week of me working there, I started hearing about how they owned an apartment. Or they own an apartment building. So my employer, was sending out an email saying that, they had certain workers moving into the apartment, and then they had, students moving in. And so anyways, like, I just became curious all of a sudden, but I didn't know that was God moving upon me. Because keep in mind, just because I see other workers moving in, it doesn't mean that God wants me to do the same thing. So I prayed about it, and I was like, God, as I'm walking into, my manager's office, like, lead me, like, show me if this is from you, and show me if it's not. If it's not from you, then I'm not going to worry about it. So anyways, I go into my manager's office and I say, hey, like, I got the email about, how you guys are moving people into the apartment. I was like, I didn't even know that, employees could live there. I just thought that it was only students. So anyways, she, began to tell me, like, no, like, yeah, employees can live here as well. And so she was, she just began to tell me, she was like, it would be $500 a month. It's a 2-bedroom. And so she was telling me, it's newly renovated. And so then she's telling me, there's new appliances, new this, new that. And what else was she telling me? She was like, all utilities paid, so I don't have to pay water, I don't have to pay the light bill, free Wi-Fi, I don't have to pay for Wi-Fi. So she was just telling me all these great things, and I'm just looking at her and I'm like, I know this is God. I know this is God, because you don't come across a 2-bedroom apartment for $500, all bills paid, all bills paid. You don't come across that, right? So with that being said, I knew that was God, and it just so happened that I went to my manager at the right time, because they only had so many apartments available. So I went at the right time, and I was so happy that God led me, because basically he was pushing me to go to my manager. And so with that being said, everything started to make sense when God was sharing with me that I would be moving, because basically I ended up moving to the same city where I got my job. Okay, so I'm still in Texas. I'm just no longer in Dallas, Texas anymore. And so anyways, after I went to my manager and I was like, okay, so do I need to apply for the apartment? Like, how does this go? And she was like, no. She was like, you're already she said, you're already an employee. She said, so we don't have to do a background check or nothing like that. She was like, all you need to do is just wait. She said, because the apartments aren't ready. She said, they're still being renovated. And then she was just like, she was like, do you want furniture? And I was like, yeah. And so she was like, well, we have to order furniture. So when I tell you guys, God was literally showing out, like he was getting everything ready while I was living in my Airbnb. So basically he was prepping me. He was telling me, Paris, you're moving. And so keep in mind, I didn't have a lot of stuff anyway when I came to Alabama, because I had given a lot of stuff away. So when I was living in the Airbnb, I literally had everything in my car already. Like everything was already packed. So the only thing I had to do was move in. And so that's what I did. I waited until, everything was ready. I waited until my booking was done at my Airbnb. And after that, y'all, I moved into my apartment. So that is how God blessed me with an apartment. That's how he moved me. As you can see, the person who prophesied to me that I would be moving into an apartment right after the Airbnb, it came true. That's how you know if someone is really from God, is if their prophecy like actually comes true. Because there's some people who be trying to prophesy to you and it never happens. Or some people be trying to prophesy to you because they want you to either do the wrong thing or they don't want you to do the right thing. So they give you this false prophecy. Okay, that's why you have to know God for yourself, because God will tell you whether people are, he will tell you whether people are from him or not from him. Okay, because I've been prophesied to a lot of times and I knew it wasn't from God, but of course I didn't tell that person. I just let them, just say whatever they want to say, but I just keep in mind that this person is not from God. So anyway, yeah, that's how God blessed me with my apartment. I'm currently in my apartment right now. I feel blessed, y'all. I really do. I'm so thankful that I went through what I went through. You guys know, I promise you guys know, the one who have been watching my journey, you know that I went through a lot. You know that I lost a lot. You know that, I sacrificed a lot, So with that being said, it's like God is slowly restoring me, okay? He's slowly restoring me. So with that being said, I know this is not it. I know that God is still doing things for me. So I hope that this has encouraged you guys. And for the ones who are, living with someone, you're living in an Airbnb, you're living in a hotel, let me just tell you, if this doesn't encourage you, I don't know what will, because God will literally restore you. He is going to restore you, okay? Especially his faithful ones. God is going to restore you, okay? So I hope that this has blessed you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.